Sometimes I think this is the Rayshard Brooks situation all over again. Let's get into it.
As the city of Kenosha waits for a charging decision in the Jacob Blake shooting, the city's mayor and police chief wrote an op-ed in the local newspaper. They say they don't know when that decision will come down, but when it does, they are prepared for it. In a city that has seen heartbreak and destruction after the August 23rd shooting of Jacob Blake, Kenosha also witnessed community members coming together, calling for change and asking for peace. Just days after the shooting, Joe Biden, now president-elect, spoke to local activists at Grace Lutheran Church. The church's Reverend Jonathan Barker says he knows a lot of people in Kenosha are still hurting, and he is praying for the district attorney's decision to bring justice.
I hope we can get justice for Jacob Blake. I hope we can continue to get justice for our Black and brown communities around police reform.
Kenosha's district attorney has yet to announce if Officer Rustin Chesky will face any charges. In Sunday's edition of the Kenosha News, the city's mayor and police chief authored an op-ed. It reads in part, quote, "Regardless of the decision, people will have differing opinions and strong emotions about it. That is everyone's right. Whether you agree or disagree, we ask that you express your opinions peacefully and lawfully. We will not, we cannot tolerate the kind of violence we saw on our streets earlier this year, and we will take definitive steps to protect our residents and businesses." Reverend Barker, like most people in Kenosha, says he is anxiously awaiting the DA's decision.
If we don't get justice, our community, where you're standing here at Uptown, is going to be incredibly hurt.
The district attorney did not return our phone call. We did reach out to the city's mayor and police chief for an interview, but both declined. In that op-ed, they continued to write that since early summer, they have been working with different nonprofits and organizations on a course for Kenosha. They say they are doing good in many areas, but they are working towards continued improvement.
Okay. You got a loss for me when you're talking about like justice for Blake. I don't. What about the justice for, how Blake broke into his, justice for his baby mama? I'm sorry. What about justice for his baby mama? Okay, Jacob Blake broke into her home, sexually assaulted her. Cops got called on him. Instead of giving up, he assaults a cop, puts him in a headlock, punches him. He was tasered, resist being tasered. The cops tell him to stop, don't move. He's still walking to his car with a knife in hand. Okay? He's walking to his car. 3 kids are in the car. The cops ended up shooting him 7 times. Now he's paralyzed from the waist down. That was his fault. It's nobody else's. I'm sorry. It's the same thing with Rayshard Brooks. You out on parole. Okay. You decide to get drunk. You decide to park your car in the middle of a line at Wendy's. Cops are called. You failed the breathalyzer test. Cops got to arrest you. You decide to fight both cops. Grab a cop's taser. Run away. Cops chase you. You decide to point the taser at the cops. Cops have no other recourse but to shoot you in self-defense, because once a cop is hit with a taser, anybody hit with a taser, they're immobile for a good couple of minutes, and anything could happen to them. A person could kill them after tasering them. Okay? And now, Ms. Bottoms wants to, get rid of the cops involved in that shooting, which was clearly provoked by Rayshard Brooks. Okay. Come on now. So there's more rights for the criminals than there are the victims. This is the problem here. Okay? This is the problem here. All right? And now cops got to be punished for doing their job. protecting themselves. Because in the Jacob Blake situation, he was manhandling those cops. It wasn't self-defense. Those cops were getting washed. They were getting their butts served to them by Jacob Blake. It was a justified shooting. There's no other way to look around this. You look at the video, you find out he sexually assaulted his baby mama, found out he had a history of beating his baby mother. You can't defend that. But the black community still wants to be up in arms defending Jacob Blake. Especially black women. Never mind a dude sexually assaulted his baby mama. It's just the color of their skin. You can't go by that. You have to go by the facts. Yes, there are times when blacks are wrongfully murdered by cops. Just straight up brutally murdered. Cold blood. But then there are other times when you have to look at the fact that there are blacks who caused their own deaths at the hand of police. Like Corin Gaines. Okay. Who decided to have her toddler son in her arms, and a shotgun in another, trying to defend her boyfriend who had a warrant for his arrest, and try to have a shootout with the SWAT police. She caused her own death. This is the thing that the black community doesn't want to understand, and this is how they're easily pawns by liberal media. By white liberals. Republicans are bad, but we're talking about the white liberals right now. The ones that Malcolm X said, those are sly as a fox and pretend to defend you, but they really want to in the type of slavery. Always want to put you as the victim. The mayor and police chief of Kenosha, Wisconsin, are calling for calm ahead of the decision on whether the officers who shot Jacob Blake will be charged. Blake was shot in the back 7 times by an officer in August who was partially paralyzed. As the city of Kenosha waits for the decision in the shooting investigation, the city's mayor and police chief wrote an op-ed for the local paper. They said they don't know when that decision will come down, but when it does, they are prepared for it. Got to be. Because I'll be honest, okay? There's a book I'm going to get one day, but I've heard the title makes great sense. It's called Negro Wars. Remember when Chris Rock made that joke about there's a civil war between blacks and niggas? Niggas? He's not playing. It's true. There is a civil war between decent blacks and blacks from the hood culture. Okay? That uplift thugs. Okay? And people who steal, kill, and destroy. Blacks who steal, kill, and destroy. All right? It's like that. And those are the ones that usually stick up for the criminals. Even when the facts are in their face that this person was a criminal, that this person caused their own death, like Breonna Taylor. This person caused their own death. This person was a trap queen. This person was helping out drug dealers. This person, put herself in a position to get murdered by police. Not really murdered, getting killed by police because she had a pattern of associating with drug dealers. You can't tell them that because most of the black community is for the hood. And the decent black folk who will tell you what I'm telling you, look, Breonna was a trap queen. She made poor dating decisions, and this is what got her killed. They'll be called coons, and they possibly could get beat up, or worse, they could have their life taken from them because you dared to speak against the narrative. You dared to speak against the tribe of ignorance. In a city that has seen heartbreaking destruction after the August 23rd shooting of Blake, Kenosha also witnessed community members coming together and calling for change and asking for peace. Just days after the shooting, Joe Biden, now president-elect, he's not the president-elect. He is not president. Joe Biden is not president. When will they stop telling this lie? Spoke to local activists at Grace Lutheran Church. The church this Reverend Jonathan Baker said he knows a lot of people in Kenosha are still hurting, and he's praying for the district attorney's decision to bring justice. How about you tell the truth that Jacob Blake was not a good person? Jacob Blake caused his own problems. He is the reason why. Jacob Blake is the reason why he's in a wheelchair, not the police. You can't do that because you're afraid of your collection plate running dry. He said, I hope we can continue to get justice for our black and brown communities and around the police. He is talking such like a liberal. Kenosha's district attorney has yet to announce if Officer Rustin Shesky will face any charges. In Sunday's edition of the Kenosha News, the city's mayor and police chief offered an op-ed. It reads, in part, regardless of the decision, people will have differing opinions and strong emotions about it. That's the problem with the black community. All emotions, less on the facts. That is everyone's right. Whether you agree or disagree, we ask that you express your opinions peacefully and lawfully. Will not and cannot tolerate any kind of violence we saw on our streets earlier this year, and we will take definite steps to protect our residents and businesses. Reverend Barker, like most people in Kenosha, says he is anxiously waiting the DA's decision. He said, if we don't get justice, our community where you're standing here in Uptown is going to be incredibly hurt. Justice for who? Jacob Blake is not a victim. He caused this on himself. And the fact that you got a person, Reverend, and he's talking this way, he needs to get up, step off the pulpit, because he needs to be talking about what's right and wrong. This is not, he got to be someone like a paid shill to tell the black community what they want to hear. Not the facts, not the cold, hard facts. The district attorney did not return. Hold on one second. All right. These ads keep coming back. A vengeance. Mute. Okay. Oh boy. The district attorney did not return a phone call from WTMJ. The city's mayor and police chief both declined interviews. In that op-ed continued to write that since early summer, they have been working with different organizations on a course for Kenosha. They said they're doing a good job in many areas, but are working toward continued improvement. The op-ed concluded by saying that they're working to build a better Kenosha for everyone. My thing about this, Reverend, how would you like it if your daughter's ex-husband broke into her home, sexually assaulted her, and took their kids, put them in the car? You call the police, and he's beating up the cops. All right, and the cops shoot him 7 times in the back, and he's paralyzed from the waist down. Would you say he is a victim, or was he a criminal, and he caused his own circumstances? I'd like to ask the black women who want to stand up for Jacob Blake, if your mother or your daughter, ex-boyfriend, okay, stepdad broke into your home, sexually assaulted your mother, she calls the cops, he's beating the hell out of the cops finally shoot him in the back 7 times because he refuses an officer's command to stop. Now he's paralyzed from the waist down. Are you going to feel sorry for him? Are you going to say he's a victim, or is your mother a victim? Just a common sense question. You're saying for peace. Peace what? That you're going to let somebody like this? Are you saying that abusers, it's okay to abuse women in the black community? Are you saying that? I just want to know. Are you saying that? Because you gotta just, you look at this, what they're talking about, okay? And another thing is not, I don't understand. I don't. Well, this is all I got for this. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Jacob Blake is a victim? Do you think he's a criminal? Like, share, comment.